We're not playing. F around and find out. That's what we're going to do. I will tell you that we do have a concern. We hope it will not materialize. We've seen time and again when we're clear about our intentions, most of the bad stuff does not materialize, but we have a concern that there may be people either working in the polls or close to the polls who are going to bring frivolous, bogus challenges to voters. Why? Because this was done in Wisconsin. Basically, the way that works is when they know better, people start to claim Mrs. Jones isn't Mrs. Jones. They might not even know Mrs. Jones. Or they start to say, oh, that identification is not good enough. These are people who have potentially put themselves in the positions of some sort of official status, and they are liable then to try to get into a discussion with other officials. This is the bottom line. Anybody who thinks you're going to play those games in Philadelphia, you're going to do it in bad faith. I got no problem with doing it in good faith. But if you're going to do it in bad faith, there is an election court, there are judges, they have orders. And those orders are going to say, in essence, get out of the polling place. Anybody who doesn't get out, you're getting arrested. That's how it works, okay? So if any of you are on these little Slack communications back and forth saying, won't this be fun? You can have your fun in a jail cell, because that's what's coming. All right, I am delighted at this time to be able to bring forward ADA's Brian Collins, Josh Barnett, Matt Stigler, Vinnie Cargan, and Shoshana Silverstein. They have been the hardest working election task force I've ever seen in the DA's office, to say a few comments, and then we will go after that to Commissioner Bethel.
Thank you, Mr. DA. I'm Joshua Barnett, Assistant District Attorney and current Supervisor of the Election Task Force. The only thing I have to add to what the DA's already said, poll watchers in Pennsylvania have to be credentialed. So if you plan to show up and say you're a poll watcher, you don't have the proper credentials, you'll be removed. If you are a credentialed poll watcher and you attempt to interfere, you'll be removed. Anything that crosses the line into criminal conduct, we will investigate and prosecute it. We have over 50 ADAs and district attorney detectives that are working tomorrow in full force with full cooperation from PPD and the Sheriff's Office and other law enforcement. So we expect if any issues come up, they'll be swiftly handled. Do you have anything to add, Brian?
Good morning. ADA Brian Collins. I'm with the Election Task Force. Tomorrow we will be running our Election Task Force hotline. As soon as the polls open until they close, the number that you call if you have any problems is 215-686-9641. We'll have attorneys on call to be able to answer those problems, and anything that needs to be responded to, we'll go out to them or respond to. If anything involves any threats of violence or any kind of violent incident like that, call 911 immediately, but anything else, you can call us.
It's now my pleasure to introduce our police commissioner, who in my opinion has been a great partner with the DA's office in many ways. This is simply one of them, but I know that there's a very deep level of preparation in the police department. We have had conversations about that level of preparation along with our federal partners, and I'm delighted to call forward Police Commissioner Bethel.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. DA, and thank you for your words earlier as we talk about crime, and really, really proud of the men and women of the Philadelphia Police Department and the work they have done with our partners across the city government, Adam Guerin and the team around prevention and intervention. We continue to push forward to make this not just a good year, but a continuum across multiple years where this city is a safe city. And so as it relates to elections, I think most of you know, I've been here multiple times, we are ready. We have been working with our partners in the DA's office task force. We have partnership with our federal partners as well. We will have a command center open tomorrow, our Office of Emergency Management, as well as our war room in the city commissioners. I would want to thank the city commissioners here today. They have been training my men and women. They have some amazing technology that has been incredible to even advance the work beyond what we could ever imagine as we go about this work. We have expanded our area of control. We have expanded our staffing level over the next couple of days. Some people may be concerned about the event this evening. We have a full staff on location as we've extended hours of our men and women. We will be prepared to respond to anything that happens tomorrow and anything that flows from that this week. Often mindful of the fact that by charter we are not allowed as a law enforcement agency to be within 100 feet of a polling place. We are pulled into the space when we have been activated by some criminal activity, or the city commissioners or city judges within the courts and the system itself, and to be able to activate that and bring us into. But we are very much across the platform. I'm thankful to the judges to be able to cancel court tomorrow to enable us to enhance our deployment. But we are ready, prepared for anything. We've done tabletop exercises, both with national partners and local partners, and just recently with our Office of Emergency Management, going through the process of, if an event happens, how we're going to respond. And so we're prepared for tomorrow. We ask folks to get out and vote, take liberties of what your right is to do, and we as a law enforcement officer will be in the shadows, being able to protect the system in the best way possible. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to call forward another great partner with the DA's office, and that is Philadelphia Sheriff Rochelle Bilal. Unfortunately, I'll have to excuse myself, and I'm going to ask Senior Advisor Gregory Lamar Stewart to stand in for me in terms of G. Lamar, that's right. In terms of the rest of this presentation, and also any Q&A that the press may have. My apologies for leaving, but you know, sometimes when a judge says you got to go to court, you got to go to court. Thank you.
Good morning, Sheriff Rochelle Bilal at City County of Philadelphia. Our responsibility is dealing with the courts. We are partners with the courts and the Office of Emergency Management in reference to the election. We want to make sure everybody is secured and follow the rules. So when we get any court orders from the courts, our detectives in the Sheriff's Office will make sure that any injunctions that is forward to us, that we go to the places and make sure that everybody has an opportunity to vote without violation of any of the laws. Our deputy sheriffs are going to be operating from in the morning until way after the polls close. We're making sure that those drop boxes are going to be safely transferred to the places where they're going to be counted. So we're all working together tomorrow. We want to make sure everybody get out to vote. And just because you are out there trying to do something, you don't want this smoke. And we want to keep it moving. Have a good day.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff. Next up, we'll have Chairman Omar Sabir.
Hello, hello, hello. You still be a little, I know it's law enforcement. Come on now. You still need to make a little excitement about our elections. Bring good vibes to everybody. As I'm Chairman Commissioner Omar Sabir, City Commissioners are a 3-member bipartisan board of elected officials, and we oversee the election functions in Philadelphia County. To keep it simple, the buck stops with us when it comes to elections. Tomorrow, polls open at 7 a.m. and they close at 8 p.m. We'll have over 701 polling locations open to the citizens of Philadelphia. To find your polling location, you want to go to vote.phila.gov. Our satellite locations will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And if you are in possession of a ballot right now, we want you to bring your ballot, completed ballot, back to one of our Eagles Green drop-box locations. Please do not put it inside of the mail, because we need to have the completed ballot in our possession by Election Day, tomorrow, at 8 p.m. sharp. There were over 235,000 ballots mailed out. As of now, we have a little under 179,000 ballots returned. So that math basically tells us that there's approximately 50,000 ballots that are outstanding. And Philadelphia, we want you to return them. There are thousands of Philadelphians who don't return their ballots and who do not vote in person. So it's very critical that we want you to return your ballots. We have slightly over 3,000 potentially flawed ballots. And you can come to our satellite locations and you can get that rectified. You can get it rectified. Please, you also can apply for your emergency absentee ballot for unexpected situations, for emergencies, illnesses, trips. Submit an emergency absentee ballot. We are calling on every eligible Philadelphian to vote. Now, if you're one of those 50,000 people in Philadelphia, after you complete your ballot, It's basically going to be like a standardized test score, and each selection is at the top. So you want to go from left to right for each party. After you complete your ballot, it's like standardized test score, you're going to fill in your selections. You are then going to place your ballot into the yellow secrecy envelope. The ballot must go into the yellow secrecy envelope. After the ballot is into the yellow secrecy envelope, it is going to be placed into the return envelope. It's going to be placed into the return envelope, and then after you do that, you must sign it, and then you must put the date that you filled out your ballot, and then please do not put this completed ballot into the blue mailbox. There's a great chance that we will not receive the ballot by Tuesday, November the 5th at 8 p.m. Postmarks do not count. And again, if you have a vote by mail ballot and you're one of those 50,000 people and you want to vote on the machines, just bring everything that we mailed you, just bring it to the polling location, and they will spoil the ballot and you will be eligible to vote on the machine. Philadelphia is the birthplace of democracy, and I'll be damned if it dies on my watch. Now is the time, and the time is now, to activate every eligible Philadelphian and let them know that it's safe for them to vote, it's safe for them to serve as poll workers, and we will do everything in our power to have a safe, simple, and secure election like we have always done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Next up, City Commissioner Seth Bluestein.
Thank you for having us. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you to all of our law enforcement partners for everything you do to make the elections possible in Philadelphia. As the Chairman said, the City Commissioner's Office is a bipartisan Board of Elections. And I can guarantee you we are going to have a free and fair, safe and secure election in Philadelphia. Now, if you have any problems when you go to your polling place or you need any information besides going to our website at vote.phila.gov, you can also call the City Commissioner's Hotline at 215-686-VOTE. And we want to make sure that every single eligible Philadelphian comes out and participates in this election. It is not about who you vote for, it is about the fact that you are participating and coming out to vote. So please make sure you get your questions answered and participate in this election between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. tomorrow. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Public Safety Director, Mr. Adam Gear.
Good morning, everyone. You know, it's in court. You're allowed to swear if like a witness or someone swears before you can. It's like a opportunity for you to swear in open court. So I just want to say it's similar, kind of, right? F around and find out. I just want to say that in front of cameras. It's very exciting. You know, I want to deliver one message to the folks here in Philadelphia, right? America is the greatest city, or America's rather the greatest country in the world. Philadelphia is the greatest city in the world. These folks have you covered, right? They have you covered. So just think about one thing tomorrow. All you have to do is think about getting out to the polls and voting, right? It's going to be a family affair for me. I'm going to take my girls with me, hold their hand, be out there on a beautiful day. We have beautiful weather projected for tomorrow. So just worry about that one thing, getting out and voting. It wasn't too long ago where folks like me could not vote, where folks like my wife could not vote. This is a party. This is exciting stuff. We get to exercise our right to vote in a presidential election here in the greatest city in the world, the birthplace of democracy. So I'm really excited for tomorrow. I'm really excited for that, to get out there and show folks how we do it here in Philadelphia and have a nice, safe election. But these folks have us covered, so just worry about getting out to vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gear. It's now time for Q&A. We'll start with WHYY. Mr. Tom McDonald.
When you look at what's going on tomorrow, what is your biggest fear, Omar? I mean, you've got 50,000 votes outstanding. If they all come in, if they don't come in, I mean, is that?
My greatest fear for tomorrow is that if Philadelphia don't vote. I mean, we've seen low voter turnout sort of plague the city of Philadelphia. And what's critical is that Philadelphia has a high voter turnout. And again, it's not telling you who to vote for, but Philadelphia wins as a whole. We will get resources, we will get accountability if Philadelphia has the highest voter turnout in the history of Philadelphia. And that's what I want to see.
What are you predicting it from what you've seen in recent elections?
So what we've seen from previous elections, that the vote by mail represents 25 to 30% of the total vote. So we had about a little under 200,000. The election was held today based off the previous elections, maybe 600,000 people coming out to vote. But again, we've seen unprecedented GOTV. We've seen unprecedented enthusiasm and excitement about this election. So it's very possible that we still can have the highest voter turnout in the history of Philadelphia.
But that means if it is 600,000, it would be less than 4 years ago.
That's very true. But again, it's not 4 years ago. And we have an unprecedented level of excitement. And we'll see exactly, people have expressed that they want to vote on the machines. So we may see a historic day. We have historic weather. We could possibly have a historic 80 degrees. I mean, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful time. And we're encouraging everyone to come on out and vote. But yes, it is serious. But again, people tell us that they like to vote on the machines. And we'll have over 701 polling locations open to the citizens of Philadelphia. So we'll be open and we'll be ready for you.
Tom, any additional questions? You good, Tom?
Yeah.
All right. Big trial. Ralph? All right. Channel 3, Alan Willer.
For the commissioner, if you could just kind of go over security measures your department's taking tonight on the Parkway and tomorrow specifically.
For tomorrow, it'll be similar to what we do for Welcome America, Made in America. We've used that blueprint out there before. So as you know, the drive is already secure. Sweeps are being done by our federal partners and others to make sure that the area is safe. We'll have a very large contingent of men and women down on Station 1 because of just the unknown of how many people will arrive on location. And secondly, I would say we're going to have the major principal, the vice president on location. So very similar to what you have observed on our Made in America and Welcome America is the blueprint that we're using. As it relates to tomorrow, as you know, we're very much involved in the operations with the city commissioners as it relates to moving the ballots at the end of the night. We have met with them, oh my God, for quite some time. Our men and women were just brought in recently to go through the mechanics of all of that, and so and then we'll have additional staffing. We'll have personnel in the event that we have any type of protest activity. We'll be prepared to do for that. If we have anyone who engages in behavior that's outside the scope, we'll have rapid response teams available to respond effectively. But we've been here before. We stay core to our cadence. We make sure that we partner with our federal and local and state partners to make sure that we're able to effectively move. And then if we have to increase our resources because of unexpected activity, we'll be prepared to do that as well. Thank you.
Alan, any more questions? All right. Channel 6, Yuri Gershon. NBC 10, Matt. I miss anyone? PHL 17. Okay. All right. Thank you, folks.
Who shot you?
Yeah.